Hyundai is aiming to boldly go where no people mover maker has gone before.
Captain Kirk, your shuttle has arrived. This is Hyundai's next generation MPV, the Staria, and it's got its photon torpedoes firmly locked onto a bunch of rivals, including the Volkswagen Multivan, but most importantly, the Kia Carnival that absolutely dominates this segment. In this video, we're going to check out the Staria's futuristic styling, take a look at the 8-seater interior in detail, see if it's got any usable luggage space, and of course, see what it's like to drive. If you enjoy the video, why not give us a like? And you can also subscribe to the Wheels YouTube channel because, unlike many things in life, it's absolutely free. Before we get into the design detail, we should probably remind ourselves of the predecessor, the iMax, which was basically a van with extra windows. This is also kind of van-like, but I like to think of it as more of a monobox style MPV concept vehicle that just happens to have got into production. Now, for those with business enterprises wondering about a replacement for the iLoad, well, there will be one related to this and simply called the Staria Load. Let's start with the front end, and plenty of distinctive elements already, not least this steeply raked bonnet and windscreen. Then you've got an LED lighting strip that goes right across the front. Daytime running lights, however, only these left and right sections. This is a central positioning light, as Hyundai calls it. Grille, that is matched to the body colour, integrates very nicely. And talking about integration, indicator lights adjust in here as well. Very smart touch. LED headlights, that's on all models, and you've got the low beam on the top, and on the bottom is the high beam. A couple of very striking aspects to the profile as well. That steeply raked bonnet and windscreen I mentioned, well, that forms a singular curve going all the way from here up to the start of the roof line, all the way across and to the top of the tailgate. Then you've got this really quite amazing glass to metal ratio here. Look how deep that is. This belt line, very, very low, very distinctive, makes this car stand out from pretty much any other MPV. The glass on the front door, look how deep that is particularly. The windows on here for the third and second rows, not actually as deep as you might think. They're cleverly disguised by black window trim. The wheels, 18 inches, and this rim design here is the same regardless of trim model. They might have missed a bit of a trick here because I think could have been a star design possibly. Now, the colour we got here is a bisque black, but you can have a brown, you can have a dark blue, and also a couple of greys. And at the rear, got a roof spoiler, and nicely hidden away is a rear wiper. Tail lights, most distinctive part of the rear end. Look at these beautiful grid style LED tail lights, but I'll reveal a little trick here that the designers have done. This part are actually fake LEDs, just to make them look taller. Love it or hate it? Let us know in the comment sections below, because I don't think you can be in the neutral zone on this one. This is a design that's anything but bland.
The Staria is offered in 3 trim grades, with the entry model simply called Staria, or is that Staria? Then there's the mid-range Elite, and sitting at the top, the Highlander. For a $3,000 premium, you can upgrade any model from a V6 petrol engine with front-wheel drive to a 4-cylinder turbo diesel with all-wheel drive. Whichever way you go, there's more than ample safety, tech and convenience features to compensate for the cost increase over the model it replaces, the iMax. And the base diesel Staria is the cheapest all-wheel drive people mover you can currently buy in Australia, undercutting Volkswagen's Multivan 4Motion by more than $13,000. Our review model here is the flagship Highlander diesel all-wheel drive, which costs about $70,000 once you factor in on-road costs.
A smart tailgate is standard on Elite and Highlander models. Now, parents, you'll be familiar with this, haven't you? Hands full. But the smart in that tailgate gives us a walk-up auto open. Very handy. Just got to have the key fob in your pocket. So it's a very low, very flat cargo floor, very convenient and done in a slightly different way to the Carnival, which goes for a deeper and wider approach. Of course, you've got some extra height here for the Staria. Also, a couple of things you can do to play around with the cargo area, such as this. Pull this lever here, and the third row seat backs fold down to create a sort of shelf for extra cargo space. or you go into the third row and you tip up the cushion, and then you simply do this. Slide the third row all the way up to the back of the second row and gives you an even more cavernous boot area. One downside though, unlike the multivan, the third and second row seats can't be completely removed to turn it into a part-time van. That's a bit of a shame. But you know, I said that there was a auto walk up open. Well, there's also auto walk away close. Electric sliding doors, standard on all but the base model. Nice feature to have, if not exactly a standout feature for this segment. Now, I was going to get in on your side to use the walk-in device, but we couldn't get it to work on that seat for some reason. Not sure if maybe it's curbside only, but there's a red strap that suggests it should be on both sides. But anyway, this is how it works. You basically pull this red tab here, seat tilt, slide forward, and there you go. You've got a nice wide aperture for getting into the third row. Put it back, and you can adjust it even from the back, so you've got good leg room. Look at that. That's a fantastic amount of space. It's more than the Carnival. Plenty of foot space. The headroom particularly more than you get in a Carnival. Just going to close the door here, which you can do there. Now look at that. Look at this window. Okay, it's not quite as panoramic as the exterior design suggested because you've got this chunky C-pillar, but still you've got lots of view out there. You can look forward out of the second row side window. Air vents. We've got some storage here, cup holders, storage tray, and that's on both sides. Same USB ports on both sides. LED reading light. And in this Highlander model, you get a lovely sunroof to bring in some extra light. Doesn't open, only at the front, but hey, that's fine. So if you're ferrying adults around, this is a pretty good car for doing that. For kids, not so great because unlike the Carnival and even the multivan, no ISOFIX points and not even top tethers, so you can't get proper child seats into this third row. There are ISOFIX anchor points in the outer seats of the second row, however, as well as top tether points across all three middle row seats. And there's still easy access to the third row, even with child seats fitted. Just remember not to have the kids in the seats when you do so. But what about us adults in the second row? Well, we've got plenty of seat travel, as you can see here, and even if I don't put it all the way back, absolute abundance of leg room, still obviously lots of headroom. You can easily get 3 people across this bench. Look at that, even the middle seat, that's comfortable. Fantastic view out. Back over here, the window, not quite as panoramic as you're kind of promised by the exterior design, but this split has got a reason, and that's because we get a sliding window like that. In the Carnival, you have a window that just goes up and down like normal. Climate control, vents, so we can adjust the temperatures just up here. You're also looked after with lots of storage options. Hyundai have been really clever with features in here. So we start off, we've got dual bottle holders integrated into the doors down here. Seat back pockets. Now, a normal mat pocket like that, but there's also this really cute, clever one here, little netted pocket for putting your mobile device in. And speaking of smartphones, we've got 2 USBs down here. We've also got push out cup holders back in, and storage drawer there. We've got a coat hook on each of the seat backs. That's just quite brilliant. Elite and Highlander models also feature window blinds for the second row as well as the third row. That thoughtfulness that Hyundai put into the second row also extends to the front cabin. So we've got this centre storage box here, which you can have acting as a tray, table, as you like, but you've also got a sliding lid here. We'll pull that back, a couple of cup holders, or a very deep storage box. You can even take out the cup holders if you don't want them. In fact, we'll just chuck them back there. We've got a storage box down here on the centre stack, a place here for your communicator, smartphone. We've got glove box, although not dual glove boxes like you got in the iMax. There's a pop-out cup holder for the front passenger. Something that is unique to the Highlander model, it gets a couple of extra storage areas up here. So one right here in front of the driver, one in the middle top of the dash, cup holder over here for the driver. That's very nice to think of me. And the doors, really clever. There's 4 layers of storage essentially. So you've got this top part, which could be for a pen or some coins. Got another little area here, third section here, and then at the bottom you've got this really fat, wide door compartment which you can put in, say, a tablet, a laptop, umbrella, you name it. Really, really good. Now, something that is missing, captain's chairs, like you did get in the iMax and you do get in the multivan. So no fold down armrest like that, and because you've got that center storage here, you don't even have a center armrest. So that's not quite ideal. You've got electric adjust for the driver's seat, but not the front passenger, which you do get in rivals like the Carnival. So that's a bit of a surprise considering we're in the top spec Highlander. The design of the cabin up front, well, it's very van-like. So where the Carnival is more SUV-like and has this center console running right down the middle, we've got a fully flat floor here, well, virtually flat floor here, so you could walk through to the passenger side if you really wanted to. So changing gears, yeah, D for drive, R for reverse, and your park, that's all up here on the console. No gear levers involved. So very tidy, very smart.
While it's far from 23rd century technology here, the Staria is relatively sophisticated for an early 21st century vehicle.
Lots of contemporary technology as you'd expect for a 2021 model, and certainly more technology than you ever got in the iMax. Passive safety as well as improved. You even get a front center airbag which helps in the event of a particularly nasty side impact collision. Infotainment, we've got a 10.25 inch touchscreen here. You also get this in the Elite model, but the base model you have to make do with a smaller 8-inch screen. It's the usual Hyundai Kia interface that we've come to know and like very much. Very slickly presented, lovely response. Climate panel down here. It's all very easy to use, to understand, easy to reach. This Highlander spec also gets a fully digital instrument cluster here. So there's no instrument binnacle that you normally associate with vehicles. I like that. In the lower spec models, it's not quite fully digital, it's only partially digital, but that does help give you this much more expansive view out of the road ahead. A couple of cool features definitely worth pointing out. You've got a 3D surround view system, and press that button here and you get a digitized version of the Staria, and then you can actually use your finger and rotate the vehicle and see what's going on around you in real time. Really like that. Also looks like you're appearing in Gran Turismo. And then there is also this feature called passenger view, and you press that, and using a camera just above me here in the roof, you can see what the cheeky monkeys in the back are up to in the second and third rows.
The Staria Highlander gains other exclusive features up front, including heated and ventilated seats and a heating function for the very stylish steering wheel. Leather appointed upholstery is shared with the Elite, with the entry Staria furnished with cloth seats. Premium materials are otherwise somewhat limited, with even this top spec model featuring plenty of van-like hard plastics.
Staria shares its platform with rival Kia Carnival, and also Hyundai's own Santa Fe 7-seater SUV, but it doesn't really feel like an SUV to drive, definitely more van-like, and that's a feeling exacerbated by the driving position because you're quite upright and there's not a great deal of support from the seat. I think the cushion could be longer, the lateral support could hug you just a little bit more, and I still find it a bit weird that there's no armrest on this side. You really need a fold down arm here, just like you get in the multivan or this vehicle's predecessor, the iMax. The super deep front side windows and large side mirrors are also very van-like, but they also contribute to excellent forward vision. Out the side you've got a vast windscreen, a little bit of a blind spot created by the B pillar, but this Highlander model comes with 2 blind spot systems. You've got your more conventional blind spot alert in the mirror, but then you also get the
video feed in the digital driver display when you indicate to change lanes. So like this, pops up on that side. And if I go back to this lane, that's excellent. The steering of the Staria doesn't really stand out from the class because it's slow in the tradition of the segment, sort of similar to the Carnival. 3.5 turns lock to lock nearly with this, so a little bit more arm twirling required, particularly around small roundabouts. But the steering, it's light and I really like it. It helps to make it an effortless experience to negotiate the suburbs, and probably a little bit more accurate on centre actually than the Carnival, where it gets a little bit vague, particularly at higher speeds. Just one element of the steering that can be frustrating: the lane keep assist system, as it does in the Kia Carnival, can just be too sensitive. So even when you're seemingly in a perfect position between lane markings, like I can feel it now, it's flashing, it's telling me, it's trying to nudge me over. It's kind of like, I don't need nudging over. Look, I've got space on the lane marking there, and I've got space to the right of me here. You can thankfully turn it off simply by holding down this button on the steering wheel. The Staria suspension is definitely softer than you'll find in your average commercial van, much closer to the Kia Carnival, reasonably relaxing just along the worst surfaces that you might find in your typical suburb. It's not quite as good at soaking up the bumps as the Carnival, but what I did find is when I stuck the family inside, that the compliance improved. So it just seems that the Staria is a vehicle that perhaps has been set up to ride better with more people on board, and hey, it is a people mover.
There's no warp drive under the bonnet, unfortunately, so you will have to make do with a relatively primitive propulsion system.
You get a choice of engines in the Staria range, regardless of trim grade. So you can have a 3.5 litre V6 petrol, which is the cheaper model, got more power, 200 kilowatts, but it is thirstier. The 2.2 litre turbo diesel 4-cylinder, I think it's worth the extra premium because, well, you save money because it is the more economical engine, but it's also got more torque, 430 newton meters, so you've got some really nice pulling power here, even if you've got quite a few passengers on board, such as the family. Nice surge of acceleration when you put your foot down. It's a reasonably polite sounding engine. Yeah, look, it's not as super smooth and super quiet as that 3 litre straight 6 diesel that you find in models from Hyundai's luxury brand Genesis, but it's still a very good engine. The Staria isn't quite the complete ultra versatile people mover because A, it lacks child seat anchor points in the third row, and B, you can't turn it into a part-time van by removing the second and third row seats. Yet it's still a brilliant mix of space, practicality, technology, and even all-wheel drive traction with the diesel engine. And this all ensures that the Staria could be a choice that's, well, logical. I don't have the power, Captain! Beep, beep, beep. Beat me up, Scotty. Before these impressions get even worse. Captain's log, Stardate 2021. I am exploring a large black monolith called the Staria. And it's a people mover, Jim. Just not as we know it.